Welcome everyone to Midday Meditation. It's Monday, we're in another week. We've been talking about the mind, we've been talking about the intellect, and there's another part of consciousness, which is our qualities. The mind is a screen which thoughts are projected onto. The intellect is the manager of the mind, but also there's kind of a storage area, our archives, or you could say the bank. And in that, we have all of our good qualities. And sometimes people just put money in the bank and then it just stays in the bank and they die and they didn't take the money out of the bank. So the same thing can happen with our good qualities. We each have a bank and we have a lot of good qualities in the bank, but they're there so that we can take them out of the bank and use them. So this week, we're going to look at some of these qualities. And the quality that I would like to look at today is compassion. Compassion is in a way, a natural response of the soul to being around other human beings, and even dogs and cats and birds. We can have compassion for. If you see an injured animal, you have compassion for that animal. But what has happened to us recently, which kind of interferes with compassion, a couple of things. One thing is the ways that we communicate with each other. It's not necessarily face to face. In fact, it's usually not face to face. People work at home now, they don't even get together for their work. Even within a family, people have different schedules. They're texting each other. And as a form of communication, texting is good at giving information, but it doesn't really allow us to relate to each other, to see that person, to see the expression on the face, to pick up the energy, to understand that we're in the same work group, we're in the same family, we're living in the same community. And so compassion has kind of been reduced because all we're getting is information. Information, we're not getting any knowledge about the soul. So we have to make a little bit of extra effort to pull up this quality of compassion, given that this form of communication, which is very convenient, is not allowing us to connect on a spiritual level. And then another way that we connect with people is through social media. And this, again, doesn't allow us to connect on a spiritual level. It's really all about information. It's mostly visual information, but there isn't much depth there, usually. So this, again, if we're going to have friends on Facebook, we have to, or whatever system we use, we have to ask ourselves, what's the point of connecting simply on this level? The soul wants to connect with another soul, and this requires compassion. The more compassionate we are, the deeper the connection is. And so these forms of communication that are information based is one kind of handicap to being compassionate. And the other one is that a long time ago, we had a lot of shared values. Not all that long ago, but people within a family would have shared, I should say, shared goals. They're all going to go on a holiday together, or they're all going to do this together. People would do a lot of things as families. And people within communities would have shared goals also. This is what our neighborhood is going to do. This is what our city is going to do. This is what our nation is going to do. But that era has kind of passed also. And now everyone has their own individual goals and objectives. And even within a family, every member of the family has their own goals and they're all out pursuing their own goals. And so when we have common goals, it helps us be compassionate with each other. It helps us to understand each other. We're all going through common, similar things. But when everybody has their own separate goals, it takes a little bit more effort to relate on a soul to soul level, to relate on the level of what is this soul doing in order to create happiness in life? And is the soul really experiencing happiness? So we have these two handicaps when it comes to compassion. And the result of it is people are less compassionate. And you can see it if you drive in most places, at least big cities. Somebody waits an extra 2 seconds before moving, and three people honk their horns because we're not relating to the soul who's the driver of that car. Instead, we're just over focusing on my own goal. I need to get to where I'm going as fast as I can. And the same thing happens at work. Maybe one person is underproducing, and there isn't usually a interest in finding out what's going on with this person. Is there some kind of stress at home? Is there some kind of illness? Is there some lack of training? Instead, we're all focusing on the goal, the outcome. You have to do this. Don't hold us up. So we have to spend extra time going into the self, going into the bank, pulling out this quality of compassion and using it because it makes our relationships better. It increases our ability to understand others, and also it makes it easier for others to understand us. Because compassion means we're relating on the level of what we have in common. And this is what we'll practice together today, the quality of compassion. To begin with, take a few deep, full, easy breaths. Watch the air enter and leave the lungs. Notice how quiet and soft the breath is. And then, as you are watching the breath, let the mind become quiet and soft. This is having compassion for the mind. The poor mind is so overworked, so many thoughts, and so much jagged, rough energy in the mind. And we know what it's like when the mind is stressed or overworked or the thoughts are too harsh. We don't feel good. So, compassion for the mind. The mind has a big, big job. It's necessary for my survival. So, as you're watching the breath, fill the mind with peace and quiet, relaxation, and then bring your awareness to the little being of light that you are, the tiny sparkling star. The intellect can understand what the eyes cannot see. So we can't see the soul. But the intellect understands that there's a very beautiful, wonderful being living inside this head. And this being wants to be good and wants to do good. This being has a lot of love a lot to offer. And sometimes, in our zeal to meet our goals or to please other people, we push ourselves a lot and we don't take time to acknowledge our good qualities. And we suffer because of that. Let's take a moment to have compassion for the self. We know that deep, true, beautiful part of the self, the unchanging personality of the soul. And we know that we are constantly trying to do the very best in every situation, given sometimes a lack of resources or not enough time or too many demands or a lack of clarity. We're still trying to do our best. We want to do our best. Sometimes we're not able to. Have compassion for the self. Yes, we are trying. We do have a certain measure of success. Maybe not 100%, but we're increasing it as much as we can. Compassion for the self, not pushing the self too much, and on the other hand, not giving up on the self because we're so full of ability. But compassion. Life is a journey. On a journey, we have to keep going. Keep moving forward. And so, compassion for the self includes recognizing the good things that I'm doing. And also identifying the things that I'm not sure about that will need a little um, silent time to figure out. I can't figure things out while I'm in the middle of action. But if there's something troubling me that I can't quite figure out, then I need to schedule some quiet time with myself. And also, compassion includes inspiring myself. What could I do today that I would really, really value from? And not something big that's going to stress me out because I don't have time for anything big, but what are little things? Could I smile more, for example? Or could I pause every now and then and have positive thoughts about myself? Little things. This is compassion, understanding what makes the soul well. When I have this kind of compassion for the self, then I can automatically have compassion for others as well. When I'm good at compassion, when I've practiced on myself, I can share compassion with others. And it can be something as simple as seeing the invisible soul when I'm talking to a person or listening to a person, recognizing that there's a beautiful spiritual being inside, inside the costume. And compassion can also include smiling at another person, acknowledging something that a person has done well, appreciating, expressing appreciation. And compassion can also include inspiring a person, believing that that person can go to a higher level of happiness, not by me lecturing or telling a person what to do, but just conveying my faith in that person, seeing that person in a higher place. This is compassion. This is what we need, is someone inspiring us with positive energy. And then when we're not around other people, we can have a few positive thoughts about them. This is also compassion. We all lead very busy lives, and we need an extra boost every now and then. And with that little extra boost, we can do a little bit better. This is compassion. When we're feeling compassion for others, we're not thinking about being needy ourselves. We're not thinking about what we want or what we deserve or what we should get, but rather we're using our own energy from our own personal bank. And of course, as we use it, the interesting thing about this inner bank, as we use these treasures, they don't reduce, they actually increase. And so by having compassion for others, we become wealthier in virtue. And then that extra wealth that we've earned makes us feel more secure, more accepting, more enthusiastic about life. And this extra boost of positive energy can also help us connect with the Supreme Soul. We need to be in a positive state of mind to come into the awareness of God, not from a place of neediness, but from a place of being a provider, a bestower, a server. Then we can come into the awareness of the one being who is eternally serving humanity through the purest energy. We can understand that being when we are compassionate. God's compassion is that He's constantly radiating light on us so that we might find a better way, gain life experience, have success. Be with that being who right now is shining a light on each one of us. There's an open door. Come and meet the Supreme Beloved, the one who has everything that a soul yearns for. Come to the dimension of light. Be with this pure soul. Be receptive. feel relaxed and loved and cared for. And let yourself be filled with the quality of compassion. Because God is unlimited compassion, compassion for all that is. Let my compassion also be unlimited so that I can be content all the time, like the Supreme Soul. Absorb that energy of compassion. Fill yourself. Put that energy in the bank so that you can pull it out and use it later on. And now bring your awareness back into the present moment. With the awareness that you have great treasures inside, that inside yourself there is a huge bank full of many qualities. You can draw upon any of these qualities. You have the key to the bank. You don't need anybody else to let you in. You can pull out whatever you want at any moment. Use it, increase it, and then make a big deposit. Om Shanti.
Shanti. Okay. Can I get a recording?
Who is that, Lori?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yes, Lori.
Thank you.
So our blessing for today, you can all put this in your bank. It's a free gift from the universe. A nice heart. And on the back it says, by immersing yourself in the depths of pure stillness, you experience the inherent greatness of the human spirit. By immersing yourself in the depths of stillness, you experience the inherent greatness of the human spirit. So put that in your bank, reflect on it, share it with others. And I will see you tomorrow. And then after tomorrow, I'm going to be going to Peace Village, which is our retreat center in New York. I have some meetings to attend, and I'll be there through the end of May. And you'll still have midday meditation. Yusuf and
Thank you. Have a good time.
Carry you on while I'm gone. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Sister Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.